What's up, man? Today we begin our continuing series on the 500 greatest songs of all time. In 2004, the Rolling Stone magazine originally released this list. They updated it in 2010 and recently in 2021. Now we're going to begin our countdown. Well, not really a countdown because the songs will be scattered from the list. We begin our look starting with the list from 2010. Then we have time over the years. I guess we'll fill in the songs that were from the 2004 list, and then we'll take a look at the songs from 2021, which of course include a lot of music from the 21st century. Now, as an introduction, in the 2010 edition, Jay-Z wrote an article, and it says, "A great song doesn't attempt to be anything. It just is. When you hear a great song, you can think of where you were when you first heard it, the sounds, the smells, and it takes the emotions of a moment and holds it for years to come. It transcends time. Great song has all the key elements: melody, emotion, a strong statement that becomes part of the lexicon, and great production. Think of Bohemian Rhapsody. That song had everything: different melodies, opera, R&B, rock, and it explored all of those different genres in an authentic way where it felt natural." Jay-Z continues, "When I'm writing a song that I know is going to work, it's a feeling of euphoria. It's how a basketball player must feel when he starts hitting every shot, when you're in that zone. As soon as you start, you get that magic feeling, an extra feeling. Songs like that come out in 5 minutes. If you work on them more than 20 minutes, they're probably not going to work. When I was starting out, I was just trying to tell stories. I wasn't thinking about melodies. Then I started to marry storytelling with everything I was learning from all these other great records. The great writers like Babyface and Lionel Richie, Rakim's technique and syncopation, Dre's whole package on the Chronic albums, Quincy Jones, greatest producer of all time, Rick Rubin, who's not far behind because of all of his genre jumping. Technology has caused the songwriting process to lose some of the magic. A lot of times now, people working on a song aren't in the same room. Imagine if Michael Jackson and Quincy Jones hadn't been in the same room. Those records would have been totally different. I've had times when I changed one word because of something that somebody said in the studio and it changed the whole song. It's so important to have other people in the room vibing, saying, 'No, this part's good. Put that there.'" Jay-Z continues. He says, "I spent a lot of time fighting myself to stay out of the way of a great song. It's hard for me to leave a song alone in its natural state. I want it to have that mass appeal. But once I start trying to push it too far, you can feel that something isn't right. When you can hear what a writer's trying to do, it's like watching a dancer and seeing him counting his steps. Music is emotional. If you're singing that you're in love with somebody but doesn't really feel like you are, people can tell." Well, about best songs aren't the biggest ones. A song like "Can I Live" is so full of emotion to me, it was better than "Hard Knock Life" or "Empire State of Mind," but it lacked that accessibility. Michael Jackson's "Off the Wall" album may have not been bigger than Thriller, but the songs have better melodies. Jay-Z concludes, "But when a phrase gets stuck in your head like a great melody and becomes a part of everyday culture, that's when it becomes something great. When your music signifies a time in the culture or continues on in everyday life, like 'Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud,' or 'A Change Is Gonna Come,' or when something like 'Bling Bling' even makes it into the dictionary, then you know you've done your job." So this will be our continuing series on the 500 greatest artists of all time. This was something that I produced as I was working in radio. I finished my last little stint there from 2010 through the end of 2016, and somewhere around 2012 or so, in this 3-hour morning talk show, we had a little bit of time there, and I asked my boss if I could produce a little feature based on this list from Rolling Stone magazine, and he begrudgingly allowed me to do this, and it was pretty good, so we kept doing it. And it turned into the stuff you've also seen on the channel already, the list of the greatest singers of all time, the greatest artists of all time, and 1984 Pop's Greatest Year. Those were lists I started later. This list was so big and long, I kind of abandoned it and went with those others. And you can tell, obviously, that the production value on those will be better. I didn't even archive a lot of the first ones of these that I did. Some of them have an AM radio sound. Well, there's a reason for that. That's because it was an AM radio talk show. That's the way it is. But as we say, it's our continuing series on the 500 greatest songs of all time. That's what's up, man.